for his coming back. As we welcomed, also we are missing our brother Izzuddin. Inshallah is coming, and inshallah very soon from Morocco. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring him back safe to our community. Allahumma ameen. And when we miss our brothers, that's actually the sense of the familyhood, the brotherhood that we have in this masjid. So may Allah bless us all. Allahumma ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. And as we talked last time about the main theme of the chapter of Surah Saba, and chapter number 34. And we give a little bit of introduction about the surah actually. And we talked about the surah had dealt with lots of topics. And one of these topics that I wanted to share with you, it's a very interesting, I wouldn't say story, but even information related to our prophets and our messengers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to make that very simple, very easy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah, Surah Saba, give us two examples for two nations or for two people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had granted them his ni'mah, his bounties, his favors. Some of them had thanked Allah and were grateful and used the ni'mah of Allah in its place, in its proper place. And other people had denied. Allah bestowed ni'mas upon them. They rejected. They didn't thank Allah. They denied the favors of Allah. And Allah is telling us how did He, do with those teams, those who were thankful to Allah and those who denied. So the message now will go to you. You as a person, you will reflect because you will reason. Allah had, favored us as human beings with the intellectual ability, with reasoning. So you will reflect, you will ponder upon this. Then you will think about, where am I? Do you think that I am from those who are grateful to Allah or those who are denying and refusing the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's a very important question that after these two sessions, inshallah, tonight and tomorrow, you will come up with that question. Who am I? Am I from those who are thankful or those who are denying the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And let's go to the details, because it's very important to know what type of ni'mah of Allah. We will talk today about two of the prophets, Prophet Dawood, Prophet David, and Prophet Sulaiman. Okay, and we will talk a little bit about what Allah had mentioned. It will surprise you, especially our young generation. They like these things. So let's go to the heroes in the Quran. And because we came in a time that, subhanallah, lots of people have doubted the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And listen to what happened. Sayyiduna Dawood, or Prophet David, known in the Bible as King David. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا. These are the verses that we just recited. We had granted. Listen, ata means Allah had gifted, granted. It's not because of work that He did. It's a gift from Allah. And for no reason. He didn't do effort. He didn't work for that. He didn't ask for this. And listen, it's different than the word a'ta. A'ta. So the rizq of Allah is ata or a'ta? Ata. And there is part of rizq from Allah because it comes with a'ta. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَعْطَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَهُ ثُمَّ هَدَى. أعطى. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar, because he deserves. That's Rasulullah. So, but the word ata, it comes as a hiba, as a gift, something Allah will grant you for no work. It's ni'mah from Allah. Let me ask you, for somebody got green eyes, what did he make? Nothing. Someone got a beautiful voice. For what? For nothing. Someone is tall. Okay? Brother Hamza is here, mashallah. Okay? So Allah said, that's from the first reaction to the ayah. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا. And the word fadla means a bounty, a grace from Allah, a virtue from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's matching with the word atayna. So atayna and fadla. Fadl, that's why we talked, me and Brother Hamza, about how to be thankful to Allah, acknowledging the ni'mah of Allah by saying what? هذا من فضل ربي. Right? هذا من فضل رب. That's because of the favor of my Lord upon me. And we will come to the dua of Sayyidina Sulaiman because he used exactly the same one. So Allah said, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا. What Allah granted Dawood? I want you to write down, to remember the favors of Allah upon Dawood. Of course, the best of those favors, in my point of view, that he granted him the prophethood, right? He became Allah istafah. The word istafah, like Surah Al Imran, istafah, Allah has chosen him to be the best of the creation of Allah. But yet, Allah didn't put that in the list. Allah is giving the abnormal things. The things that even beyond your imagination. Listen, one of the favors that Allah had mentioned, Ya jibalu awwibi ma'ahu wat-tayr. Allahu Akbar. Sayyidina Dawood, Allah had granted him a very beautiful voice. And what's the book that was revealed? What's the name of the book? Zabur, right? And he, out of this Zabur, he started to make certain dhikr for Allah. And those statements of dhikr, it is called mazamir. Mazamir. Mazamir, you know what do you call it? The flute? Okay? So that's the plural word for flutes. The singular one is mizmar. Flute. And he granted mazamir. That's why when you have a sheikh is reciting well, a beautiful voice, you say to him that Allah had granted you one mizmar of mazamir Dawood. You get it? He, like Sayyidina Dawood, owns lots of mazamir, lots of flutes, and you got one. Alhamdulillah. Okay, you got one. So, and that's why Allah said, Allah gave the order to the mountains and to the birds to sing along with him, to repeat, to recite, to say this dhikr of Allah with him. Can you imagine walking amongst the mountains, you know, between the mountains, and you have the birds flying over your head, and you remember Allah, you say, Subhanallah. Then the rocks, the mountains, the birds are repeated after you. Allahu Akbar. And that's number one. Number two, وَأَلَنَّا لَهُ الْحَدِيدِ. We softened the iron for him. Can you imagine somebody catch the iron and he form it for any kind that he wants, any form. He was able to transform the iron to any type, to any shape. وَأَلَمْنَا لَهُ الْحَدِيدِ. We softened the iron for him. Let's talk about Iron Man. Have you watched Iron Man movies? Okay, Iron Man. So you see how Imam updated, mashallah. Yes. وَأَلَمْنَا لَهُ الْحَدِيدِ. We softened the iron for him. So what? Allah said, أَنِعْمَلْ سَابِغَاتٍ وَقَدِّرْ فِي السَّرْدِ. Make coats, armors, dru'r. Allah ordered Dawood alayhi salam to create out of this ni'mah. Now we started to understand that this ni'mah is not for you to be arrogant, to be an oppressor, to be tyrant. You need to use them to serve what? The religion of Allah, to serve others, to protect others. Use that ni'mah to create and to manufacture sabighatin, like coats, armors made out of metal, and that was his job. That was his main job, Sayyidina Dawood. And Allah said, وَقَدِّرْ فِي السَّرْدِ, and make other things that will benefit people out of metal. وَاعْمَلُوا صَالِحًا إِنِّي بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Allah said, I granted you all of this. Now work righteously. Means what? Do not take the ni'mah of Allah for granted. Now you have health. While you are listening now to me, you have health, and you take it for granted. It's not a big deal, Imam. I wake up every morning and I'm okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, now while we are talking, we have doctors here. Have Dr. Him just came from the hospital. He can tell you how many people that he passed by rooms after rooms. They are in pain, screaming all the night, and he gets colds because other people are in pain. While we are here, somebody in surgery, somebody is bleeding, somebody in pain, someone is suffering, someone cannot sleep, someone just took the pain relief or the antibiotic. Lots of people. So why not me and you? Why? Think about it. Do you have something special? Did you sign a contract with Allah that I will not get sick in 2023? No one of us had signed a contract with Allah. It's only by the favors of Allah. That's atayna. That's atayna. Don't think because of I am managing my diet. I am taking my bills. I have muscles. I go to gym. You know, we became so materialistic to the point that we forgot the favors of Allah. And we started to relate everything only to our intelligence. Pay attention for this. And you know what? Then Allah continued. Now Allah talked about Sayyidina Dawood, the abnormal things that he granted him. Yes, he granted him health. Yes, he granted him family. Yes, he granted him stability. Yes, he granted him security. That's all. But Allah wanted to talk about the abnormal things. Then Allah said, Allah now will talk about Sayyidina Sulaiman. Before I tell you about Sayyidina Sulaiman, Allah said previously in Surah An-Naml, Allah said, وَوَرِثَ سُلَيْمَانُ دَاوُدَ. Sulaiman had inherited Dawood. Means he was born by these talents, by this special stuff that he got, that his father got. So he inherited that from his father. Now Allah will tell us about the things that Sulaiman had gotten from Allah on the top of what he already inherited from his father. So mountains and birds and melting the iron very easily, controlling the iron and softening the iron and all of these things. But Allah on the top of that. Why you say on the top of that, Imam? Because Sayyidina Sulaiman made a special dua. You remember when we talked about the intercession of Rasulullah? He said every prophet has had an answered dua that he made during his life, except Rasulullah. He kept it for what? For his ummah, right? What's the dua that Sayyidina Sulaiman said? رب هب لي ملكا لا ينبغي لأحد من بعدي. Ya Allah. Oh Allah, grant me the kingdom, the power that no one will be allowed to take it after me. No one should get what I will get after me. I believe, if it wasn't this dua, Rasulullah would take all of these things. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay? Sayyidina Sulaiman said, oh Allah, do not give anyone after me this kingdom, this mulk, this ability, this power. Allah said, Wali Sulaiman al-Rih. Listen, Sulaiman got the control of the wind. غُدُوُّهَا شَهْرٌ وَرَوَاحُهَا شَهْرٌ. The distance that the wind might take in 1 month, it will take it in 1 morning. That's going. For coming back, what will take it in 1 month, it will take it in the afternoon. So a trip for the wind of 2 months, it will take it in 1 day. 2 months of trip of the wind in 1 day. So if Sayyidina Sulaiman ordered the wind to carry him somehow to a certain place, he can go as far as he can and come back with him just 1 hour, half hour, as far as he can go. And that's the distance. Can you imagine a wind running and blowing for a trip for 1 month? For 1 month. That's even beyond our imagination. And not only this, listen to what is going to happen. Allah said, وَأَسَلْنَا لَهُ عَيْنَ الْقِطْرِ. Allah made the copper as a spring liquid for him. You know the copper? They need to melt it. They put it in the heat and all of these things, big ovens. Allah said, we made that as a spring, like water. And instead of getting water, he gets what? Copper. Allahu Akbar. And then Allah said, وَمِنَ الْجِنِّ مَنْ يَعْمَلُ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّ. Allahu Akbar. And amongst, not all, وَمِن, it's called min at-tab'idiyya, min al-ba'd, min, from, not all, because some people have misconception about Sayyidina Sulaiman that he was controlling all the jinn kind. No. And there are lots of theories about his treaty that he signed with the jinn. Some people go to the YouTube, oh, I memorized the treaty of Sayyidina Sulaiman with the jinn. Now I can control the jinn. Now I got ijaza, I got license from Sayyidina Sulaiman. He gave me the authority to use the jinn, and they are robbing people, taking their money under that. You know, they are scamming people by this. And I am sure that you met or you have heard about some of these stories. So some people till today, they use the oath of Sayyidina Sulaiman with the jinn as an, you know, and oh, I have a jinn I'm controlling. Oh, you want me to check on the magic in in Lebanon. Okay, let me send my jinn right now. Okay, go, touch. Then he goes and tells you, he has magic, he has so and so, he has this and he has this. Do not believe any of those. They are scamming people literally. Listen to what Allah said. Allah said, وَمِنَ الْجِنِّ, part of the jinn, some of the jinn, مَن يَعْمَلُونَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِ, by the permission of Allah. So Sayyidina Sulaiman didn't take it like as a green card, do whatever you want, only what is in the permission of Allah. He didn't take it because of his power. It's only by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, وَمَن يَزِغْ مِنْهُمْ عَنْ أَمْرِنَا, whoever disobeys Sulaiman and disobeys eventually the order of Allah, نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابِ السَّعِيرِ, he will be punished. So what was the significance of jinn? What to do? Allah said, يَعْمَلُونَ لَهُ مَا يَشَاءُ مِن مَحَارِيبِ, they used to work and manufacture, build, construction for him. Maharib. What's maharib? Chambers. This is called mihrab. Mihrab. The plural word is maharib. So they used to construct, to build maharib, chambers. يعملون له ما يشاء من محاريب وتماثيل, statues. Imam, isn't it haram? Sharia is different. It was at that time. وَجِفَانٍ كَالْجَوَابِ, Allahu Akbar. And they used to build for him like places to store water in it. And they used to build these stores, these things to keep the water in it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Jifanin kal jawab. You know jawab? When you put your hand in your pocket. So they used to build pockets for water, to save it, to keep it, for people to drink from. So he made the jinn not to harm anyone, not to work in magic, not to go to spy on somebody. That is all haram. That is all shirk billah. But he used them to work in the benefits of people. And not only this, وَقُدُورٍ رَاسِيَاتٍ, he made the jinn to work, to do stationary kettles. You know the big kettles, the big pots? Yes, stationary big pots, big kettles. Qudurin rasiyat, huge, massive one. So he could feed people and he could benefit others. Then Allah said, after all of these things, Allah said, اعملوا آل داود شكرا. Now, people of David, the people of Dawood means Sulaiman and Dawood and their families, their kids. اعملوا شكرا. I removed آل داود now just to join the two words together. اعملوا شكرا. What's اعملوا? Work. Do shukr. Imam, we used to say shukr, not do shukr. No, shukr is not by saying. It's not only verbal. It's not only lip service. Allah said, اعملوا آل داود شكرا, because to thank Allah you need to work. Then Allah said, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Just few number of my servant will be thankful to me. Allahu Akbar. And we talked before, and I think Dr. Rahim was participating in this discussion. We said never Allah talked good, never Allah praised like too much the numerous number of people in doing something in the Quran. Allah never praised the large number of people. Only Allah is praising the few, the few number. When you read in the Quran, وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah always said, but most of them, the majority of them are not mindful. The majority of them are not thankful. The majority of them are not reflecting. The majority of them, always, Allah is not talking good about the majority. But when Allah is talking about the few, Allah said, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Just few of my servants are grateful to me. Then Allah, in another position in the Quran, Allah said, وَقَلِيلٌ مَا هُمْ وَظَنَّ دَاوُدُ أَنَّمَا فَتَنَّا. وَقَلِيلٌ مَا هُمْ. Those who are grateful to Allah, those who are submitting themselves to the will of Allah as He deserves to be worshipped, subhanahu wa ta'ala, those are few number of people. That's why I wanted you just to imagine the few number. By the time of, if you have a feast, if you have a celebration, and it has something haram in it, for example, you have everyone is running, hustling, bustling, going. And where are you going, brother? Oh, this is time for Maghrib. I will come. And you find yourself only with 3 people in the masjid in Maghrib, while others are playing, dancing. They are there. If you are in a wedding, you have like 200 people in the hall, and you have small number, 20, 15 people. They got together and they said, let's find a place to pray. And they are 20, 15. But what about the rest? Aren't they Muslims? They are. But think about this. So you need to choose tonight which group that you want it to be from. Those, the majority of people, those who are following. And by the way, it's very simple. Like if somebody chose and say, Allah said there is no compulsion in religion, right? Allah said in Surah Al-Kahf, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. If somebody, nobody will force you, nobody will chase you, nobody will come after and say, hey brother, why did? No, nobody. As I said before, like it's like I remember one of our sheikhs, wallahi, subhanallah, he was one of those who trained me in Al-Azhar institution, was one of the sheikhs who trained me for the khutbahs. So he used to tell people, do not think that we will get paid based on how many people that we have. So we will not get, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we get paid more. No, we don't want the large number. And he used to say, if I have 10, only 10 people who are sincere in their intention to seek the knowledge, I can give them all what I have. He said 10 is better than having 200, but they don't care. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't think about the number. Rasulullah started to think about the quality of the people. That's why they became the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, tomorrow, if Allah give us time, give us life, we will talk about the death of Sayyidina Sulaiman. And then we will talk about Saba, the people of Saba that Allah named the surah after them. May Allah bless us all. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah grant us the blessings of the Quran. Allahumma ameen. May Allah make us amongst those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to them on the day of judgment, go, I have forgiven your sins, and enter my Jannah. May Allah make us amongst them. Allahumma ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.